Welcome back, everybody. My name is All Fun and Games. I stream every day on Twitch TV, and I also make fun little videos here on YouTube. Today, we're going to be talking about why you should base next to a beefalo, or why you maybe could base next to a beefalo. And let's talk about why it might be a good scenario to actually live next to these little tiny little creatures. Now, what I would probably recommend doing is if you are going to be living near the beefalo, don't live inside of the beefalo's herd, meaning where the beefaloes are chilling around and going around and huddling together, maybe base a little bit further away from that. Reason for this is if you've watched my previous video, you know why. But let's just imagine that I'm living close by a beefalo, and for some odd reason, it's now winter time, and all out of nowhere starts to spawn our scary little Deerclops. By the way, do not do this because I don't recommend doing it. If you want to know how to actually kill the Deerclops, I would highly recommend watching my video on YouTube where I showcase how to kill it. The Deerclops spawns in and it's ready to attack us in wintertime. Hello, Deerclops, I'm going to attack you. Don't mind if I do, right? As the Deerclops gets over to us, we decide to go in there and make the Deerclops attack the beefalo. We have 500 million beefalo, and guess what? They're going to help us actually kill the Deerclops. Or are they? The thing about the Deerclops is it has such amazing stun locks that it might actually kill the entire herd. And this could actually be a good thing and or a bad thing. And in this case, I'm going to talk to you why it actually could be somewhat of a decent thing. Now let the beefalo finish off most of what Deerclops has left, but at the same time, the herd is still going to continuously do a smidge of damage. And while this is happening, you could actually get in there and attack the Deerclops as well. Don't forget to help out your little buddies because, yeah, you might as well. Now, as this is going down, I would recommend not doing this at all because, as I said before, when you're clearing out the herd, well, guess what? When there's nothing left, there's nothing left. But, yes, the Deerclops will die, and you probably will survive your first winter with no problem at all. Keep in mind, the beefalo herd that I have right there is much larger than normal, so you probably will not see that. However, ooh, look at all that free food, free beefalo wool, just looking all good, and not to mention the beefalo horns. And also, I killed the Deerclops. So, was it easy? Sure. Was it, not necessarily the best idea? Of course. I still think it's probably not the best route to do it, but if you are struggling to survive winter and you want to kill the Deerclops pretty easily, it's not the worst scenario, I guess. I mean, there is worse stuff. I definitely do not recommend doing this, so keep in mind. I'm saying this numerous times because I don't want people in the comments going, how dare you recommend having them kill the Deerclops? You just killed all the herds of all your beefalo. How dare you? So that's what I'm saying. This is not a recommendation. I'm just telling you why it's an okay thing to live next to the beefalo. Well, guess what? Our little beefalo friends are coming right back to us because we missed them already. Hello, beefalo. It's like you've never actually left us. Okay, what's another reason why the beefalo should be okay next to us? Well, this is another reason. Coming soon at nighttime, we're going to be able to shave the beefalo, or as many times as we want. As soon as they regain fur, we can do it over and over again. And beefalo wool can be used for multiple different things, especially some of the most important items in the game, especially for wintertime too. Keep that in mind when actually sitting next to a beefalo herd. Sometimes if you get a beefalo out by themselves, you can actually kill it fairly simple when you just have a log suit, so that is another easy way of getting some easy meat. Not to mention too, poop can be used for numerous amounts of things, such as, farming and other multiple resources. So just keep poop next to you, don't put it on a fire, but if you do decide to, you know what, you got an endless amount of poop. While they're sleeping, of course, keep in mind, while they're sleeping and not in heat, I mean, if they're in heat, you just be a little bit more cautious. But while they're sleeping, you can go and you can pick up the actual things as long as you decide to shave them with a razor. You can also use a pan flute, which I definitely do not recommend doing, which I have in my inventory. And the pan flute will actually make them fall asleep, and then you can do the same thing as well. So, multiple different reasons why it's an okay reason to live near the beefalo, but not within the beefalo range, because I do feel like sometimes they can actually get you in a little bit of trouble. Now, if for some odd reason, like I showed you in the previous video, a hound does show up, as long as it's not a firehound specifically, you're probably going to be okay. So let's go ahead and spawn another hound, just so you can see in this video too, in case you didn't get a chance to watch my last one. We spawn a hound in, and that hound is going to obviously try to target the closest thing that it can, and it immediately is already targeting one of the beefalo. They're going to wake up and get pissed off, and they immediately just devoured that hound. That hound just died in a matter of seconds. So, the difference between the hound that I spawned in and the ones that are actually going to come over from the distance is that the hounds that are in the distance that are attacking me, the beefalo will not really bother caring about because they're obviously not targeting them, they're targeting myself. Only when the beefalo are being targeted and attacked do the beefalo actually care about it. So, for example, if I spawn a hound over here, not to say you're spawning hounds on yourself, but you can kind of get the idea. This hound's going to come over here and it's going to say, hey, and I'm going to run over here and I'm going to hope that the beefalo help me, but they're not really helping me. Help me, beefalo, help me. And you can kind of get the idea that the beefalo don't really care. Even if I'm getting attacked, they're still not caring because they're just like, what's happening around us? So normal hounds that are actually spawned in the world periodically are not going to actually trigger the beefalo for caring about you. The only time that will happen is if it's a hound that's randomly just like out there and not actually no longer chasing you. So for example, if you've died in the area or if you have a friend near you and you kind of just teleport away, you can actually have the beefalo do the fight for you. So let's try this again and showcase it one last time. So here we go. The hound spawns in and it's targeting me, right? I'm over here. The hound is now chasing me down and I'm like, where am I going to go? I'm so scared. I really can't survive like this. I'm going to teleport away. Now I teleport over here and I'm next to a pig and this pig's attacking me, but I'm going to teleport real quick back. And now the hound is doing what? It's literally just running around eating monster meat or well, whatever it can. It's basically in passive mode until it decides to attack an actual farm, an actual set of beefalo. There you go. That's why it's an okay reason to actually stick next to it. But that's how you get hounds to attack off screen if you actually are not near it, or if you're playing Wartox. Of course, you're playing another character. It's a little bit more difficult unless you live next to a wormhole, which I will showcase in another video. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. That was a mouthful.